Hello, welcome to this week's problem of the week. For this problem, we're given a differentiable function f such that f of 0 is equal to -1, and the derivative of f of x with respect to x is equal to the sine of the sine of the sine of the sine of x times the cosine of the sine of the sine of x times the cosine of the sine of x times the cosine of x. What we're trying to figure out is what f of x is equal to. So we have d over dx f of x equal to this. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply both sides by d of x. So as you can see, we can set this up where we can take the integral of both sides. And so that's what we will do. So having done that, we can see that on the left-hand side, we have integral of d of f of x. And that will just simplify to f of x. So we'll make that change. And so now we have on the left-hand side a simple expression, just f of x, and on the right side we have a very long expression. It'll be hard to do. So what we're going to do is use substitution for this one. We're going to look at the first term, the sine of the sine of the sine of the sine of x, and we're going to set u as equal to everything in the after the first sine, so we'll set u equal to sine of sine of sine of x. So that's the first step of u substitution, and the second step of u substitution is to take the derivative of this with respect to x to deal with the dx over here. And so to do to take the derivative of this, we have to do the chain rule repeatedly. So we take the derivative of the first sine, leave everything as is, and multiply that by derivative of the second sine, keep all this the same, and finally the derivative of the third sine. So we'll do that right now. So we take the derivative of u with respect to x and then multiply both sides by x. We see that d over dx is equal to the cosine of the sine of x times the cosine of the sine of x times the cosine of x. And then the derivative of x is equal to 1. And so we can say that after multiplying both sides by d of x, that du is equal to the cosine of the sine of x times the cosine of sine of x times cosine of x dx. So now what we do is we plug in u in here, and then we substitute du for dx. We can see that everything after the first sine, so after this point, we will see that this is equivalent to this. So the integral becomes a lot easier because we're just left with the sine of u. So we'll just plug that in right now. So we take this integral, f of x equal to sine of u du. We find that that is equal to negative cosine of u plus c, because this is an indefinite integral. And so now all we have to do is plug in u to this, and then we'll set for 0 to figure out what c is equal to. So we have the final value of f of x equal to negative cosine times the sine, or the cosine of the sine of the sine of the sine of x plus c. We know that f of 0 is equal to -1. So to get rid of this unknown c, we will solve for that. So we've set f of 0 equal to, or f of 0 equal to negative 1. So we plug in 0 for x. We find that negative 1 is equal to 1 plus c. So c is equal to negative 2. So now all we have to do is plug in c into this expression, and we have our final function. My mistake, sorry, I'll drop the negative sign. We find that c is actually 0, my mistake. So again, we just plug the value of c into this function, and we get our final answer. And there we go. We find that final answer, f of x equal to negative cosine of the sine of the sine of the sine of x. Thank you so much for watching this week's Problem of the Week. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website, centerofmath.org. Thank you.